Hello everyone, it's Logan from Curated Avalon, and today I'd like to share with you my book haul from my local used bookstore. And to start off, I actually want to show you the bag they stuck my books in because this thing is cracking me up. So I don't know. I think this is an emu. I'm not 100% sure. If you know what this is, please comment below, but it keeps staring at me. So I have to like flip it over. Anyway, that just really I thought was so funny. To start off with the book haul, I have a copy of The Black Arrow, and I've been thinking about this book a lot recently. Just how I hadn't read Robert Lewis Stevenson in absolute years, and I kind of wanted to go back through and reread again. I was probably reading his books around age 8 to 14, just rereading Treasure Island over and over again. It was one of my favorites. And I know I read The Black Arrow several times and Kidnapped and, oh goodness, yeah, just so many good books. And I even remember reading some of his poetry. Anyway, I was thinking about The Black Arrow specifically the other day because I was reading some medieval fiction and thought I would very much like to read this book again. So I know I have a copy of it somewhere, but I would have to find it. And this copy was just right there on the shelf, totally available and waiting for someone to take it home. So I thought that was perfect timing, but also the inscription on the inside is what really sold me on this book. So someone put his full address and then thought it necessary to put Northern Hemisphere, North America world, solar system, Milky Way, and universe. I think we should all inscribe our books this way. I think that is absolutely fantastic. I mean, you never know. An alien might end up with your book and you might need it back. Anyway, so started with The Black Arrow. I'm looking forward to reading that again. It's, like I said, been a long time and just kind of miss it. Also sticking with classics, I found a copy of The Hobbit and Tolkien, A Look Behind the Lord of the Rings. I've never read this. I don't even think I've seen this book before. But I'll never pass up a cool edition of The Hobbit. This is one of my favorite books. Can't tell you how many times I have reread and also listened to an audiobook version. I have I think the standard audiobook, and then I also have the Andy Serkis recorded audiobook, which I highly recommend. He played the voice and did the motion capture for Gollum in the movies. And to hear him read the entire thing is magical, but when you get to Riddles in the Dark, it's just out of this world. It's shocking, and just to hear his voice, it's stunning. So anyway, I'm really looking forward to reading this, A Look Behind the Lord of the Rings. It looks like it speaks to Tolkien's possible inspiration for The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings, and that kind of thing I've always find interesting. So those look really cool. And let's see. Oh yeah, I have a couple more Tolkien books. I was really pleased to find these. I don't typically find hardback copies of Lord of the Rings or the Silmarillion. That one really shocked me. They always sell out of these before I can get them. The girl did tell me, she goes, "Oh, we just stuck this up there this morning." I'm like, well, I got lucky then. This is a beautiful copy of The Fellowship of the Ring. It's like early 80s. The paper feels so good. You have the deckled edge. The cover. You have that cool classic Lord of the Rings cover. Love it. So that I will be adding to my collection. And the Silmarillion. I actually don't have a copy of this, which I think would have been a crying shame, but now I do. This one, let's see, also has a really cool cover. That's going to be hard to keep the jacket on. That's so cool. Yeah, I'm looking forward. I have never read this all the way through. I've read bits and pieces of it, but I haven't read it all the way through. This edition is from the late 70s. Very cool. Definitely on my list. Moving in. Oh, this one's actually not totally off topic, but a little bit in a different direction. The Book of Herb Lore. So why would I pick this up? I'm working on a creative writing piece that involves some plant language and origins of plants and the medicinal uses. So I thought this might be a helpful reference book for that. So I picked that up. And this, or these rather, not a complete set, but they are antique history books, which I am a complete sucker for. If they're clean copies, they tend to just come home with me. I really enjoy finding Virginia history, specifically, but let's see. Yeah, these are early 20s copies. And they look it in the cute little books that they are. It's very typical of the early 20s. But the content and topics looked very interesting to me. See if I can find the one in particular spoke about women in history. And anytime I see that, I like to pick it up because I'm curious as to the actual language written in referencing women through different eras, moving out of the 1800s and into the 1900s, mid-1900s. Speaking of Virginia history, have some right here. Let's see if this is the one. That must be the last one. I don't think I dreamed that up. Maybe I did. All right, hold on. Go back to this one. Maybe I was a little too hasty. I was. This is the one. Okay. Great Women and Great Rulers. Let's see, looking at the contents, the topics looked very interesting to me. Just reading over that, we've got Joan of Arc and Heroic Women, St. Teresa and Religious Enthusiasm. Interesting. The Political Woman, the Women of the World. Very cool. The Women of Society. Women in Literature. Ooh, I might just have to skip ahead to that one. Education of Woman and Woman as a Novelist, George Eliot. Silas Marner was one of my favorite books when I was younger, probably around 12, 14. Charlotte Bronte. Wow, this is really cool. Okay. Very much looking forward to reading this, adding this to my list. And I'll just set those aside. Last but not least, getting into the nautical theme, ships and men. I went from women to the ships and men. I was such a sucker for nautical stories when I was younger. I still enjoy them now, but I was obsessed with them from like ages 8 to probably 16, to be honest. Robert Lewis Stevenson's Treasure Island was one of my favorites. I reread that, I can't tell you how many times. And let's see, what else? I know I read some of his other works like The Beach of Falaisia and such as that as I got older. I read Moby Dick. I read Moby Dick when I was like 8 years old. I could not wait to read that. Captain's Courageous. Just so many good books. 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea still remains pretty much my favorite book. The thought of having an underwater library where no one can get to me is pretty fantastic. But yeah, so it seemed that this book in particular referenced a lot of fiction and nonfiction, obviously, ships that I have an interest in. So it looks like a very interesting reference book. And the very last book, sticking with the nautical theme, have the Blue Jacket Manual for, well, focus, for the United States Navy from 1918. That was just intriguing to me, to know what it would take to be a good blue jacket in the early 1900s. We have discipline and duty, what the service offers. Well, the knowledge that you should know. So this just looked so interesting to me. Oh, we've got first aid. That'd be very important. Knots and equipment. Infantry. Ooh. Ordnance and gunnery. What do we have here? Some kind of gun, something that I don't know, but cool. Looks like some kind of gun barrel, maybe a cannon. Ooh, got another one. Let's see, be gentle. Come on. Foremast and head booms of sailing ship. Very cool. I love these old illustrations. So anyway, this just seems like a fountain of knowledge. Practical things to know. But also just very interesting. Oh, we actually have some color plates. I guess you need those when you're talking about the signal flags. Very cool. I have very minimal knowledge when it comes to the signal flags. I probably should learn all of them. I know the main important ones, that's it. Anyway, it's just so interesting. So that is my book haul. Thank you so much for watching, and comment below if you've read any of these books or if any of these books would intrigue you to read. Thanks so much, guys.